Thank you for joining us today on the presentation. And this is actually going to go over the M15W wireless document camera. So welcome to Getting to Know Your M15W. My name is Chuck Tuck. I am a product trainer and evangelist for AVer. And as I mentioned, James will be with us. He will be answering any of the questions that you have in the chat room. So right now, we are all really trying to embrace this distance learning. So many of you are experiencing something new at schools, are stepping up and trying to get creative to help students during this time where schools are really closing down for a little while. So most, if not all of you, will be relying on technology to deliver some form of online learning. So some of you may be experiencing some new challenges if this is your first time doing any type of online or distance learning. And AVer would like to help you overcome some of these challenges. And what we'd like to do is show you how to use our document camera and software with their current video conferencing system, as an example, Zoom, that you are on right now. So in most cases, using the document camera in one of these conferencing platforms like Zoom or Microsoft Teams or even Google Meets, it's as simple as just selecting the document camera in the drop-down menu. So we'll cover that in a different presentation. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to go over, as I mentioned, the M15W document camera and the new AverTouch software. And what you'll see is it's going to help you actually do some of this distance learning or distance teaching. So as I mentioned, in most cases, to use the document camera within one of these platforms is as simple as selecting the AverDocCam as your video source within that video conferencing software. So, but first, let's get you familiar with the M15W and the AverTouch software. So we'll be doing more online sessions in the following weeks. So in those sessions, I'll be covering how to connect the various video conferencing platforms on Facebook. We may be doing Facebook Live and back on Zoom as well. So keep an eye open for those dates to be released on our social media channels. So if you haven't already done so, look us up on the social media channels. At the end of this presentation, I'll be giving you how to connect with our social media platforms if you haven't already done so. Okay. So what is the M15W? Well, it's a document camera, but it's really more than just a document camera. The M15W is the most innovative and compact document camera that AVer has ever created to empower educators and students to share, discover, and learn. And more than that, it's really a multi-purpose distance learning tool. So what makes the M15W such a great tool? We've heard a lot of talk about 4K. Well, this has your 4K output, has a 13 megapixel image sensor, 23 times digital zoom, a built-in microphone, and of course, a 3-year warranty. So what does all this really mean? Well, 4K output, if you think of, you heard people talk about 1080p being so great in the past. Well, 4K is really 4 times that of a 1080p. So that really allows you to zoom in and you get some really clear images. And the 13 megapixel image sensor, that kind of goes along with that. So currently, 8 megapixels is about the industry standard. So a 13 megapixel document camera is going to allow you to capture some really crisp and sharp images. And that 23 times digital zoom is really going to allow you to hone in, just get right down into the details of whatever it is that you're trying to capture. And again, with that 13 megapixel image sensor, that image that you capture is going to be crystal clear. So one of the other things as far as a built-in microphone goes, some of you might say, well, that's all good. But think about this. You may have your document camera, you have it connected to your desktop or laptop. Most laptops, of course, will have a microphone working, but in many cases, your desktop, you won't have a microphone that's built in like a laptop. So that's where having a microphone built into your document camera comes into play. Because if you're doing any type of recording, you're going to want to have a microphone to record the audio. And the M15W and many of our document cameras from AVer have a built-in microphone. So that kind of solves the case as far as having to get an external microphone. Okay. And 3-year warranty, that I don't need to really talk too much about that. That really means that for 3 years, you're worry-free. If anything ever happens to that document camera, just let us know. We'll try to walk you through any of the steps to see if there's something that we can help you correct or fix over the phone. If not, we'll go ahead and do a return authorization and get that fixed for you. Don't forget, if I'm going through this too fast and if you have some questions, just go ahead and type that in the chat box and James will get to you on that. All right, so how do we connect the M15W? First of all, just to let you know that the M15W wireless document camera has 4 different ways of connecting to your desktop or laptop. One is the AP mode, which AP stands for access point. This is the default mode, so when you get the document camera, it's going to be in the AP mode. If you happen to need to go back to default and wipe everything out and start from the very beginning, again, default mode, it goes back to AP mode. USB, as it is, you connect your document camera directly with your USB cable that's included in the box from your M15W over to your laptop or desktop. That would probably be about the easiest and, of course, the most direct way to connect it. Then we have Wi-Fi connection and Miracast. We'll go over the Wi-Fi and the Miracast probably in another video. So for today, I'm just going to talk about the AP, or the access point, and USB. And the reason I want to talk about those two is, I know right now you're not in class, or most of you may not be, but oftentimes when you're in a school and you have your wireless connection, it may not be that great. Your Wi-Fi might be either difficult to connect to because of one reason or another. You might have too many restrictions, or it just might be too slow because there's a lot of devices connected to that. That's where the AP, or the access point mode, comes into play. There is a USB dongle, such as this. Hopefully you can see that. It's very small. This connects to your USB port of your laptop or your desktop. And once this is connected, it will recognize your document camera when you turn it on. And I'll go over that in just a little bit. So as it shows, the USB dongle will connect to your laptop or desktop into an available USB port. And then from there, the document camera already has a Wi-Fi dongle in there, so you don't have to worry about that. USB, once again, is just a direct USB cable directly to your desktop or laptop. So right now, let's go ahead and jump over to the AverTouch software, and I'll show you how simple it is to connect your document camera to the software. All right. So just give me a moment while I switch over. So you don't see a document camera right now. So again, what I'm going to do is take this little USB dongle, place it into the side of the laptop. Here. You may have heard the little bing bing. So that is now connected. I'm going to take my M15W. I'm going to press the power button. And notice that there's a red light that comes on. It'll turn green once it's fully powered. So I'll just take a moment. And then there's going to be automatically the Wi-Fi. A blue button will begin to flash and it'll go solid blue when the Wi-Fi is ready to be accessed. And that goes for the Wi-Fi or the access point. So now that it is ready to go, open up the arm here. On the software, right here is the sync button. Click on the sync button. It will discover or look for the document camera. And there it is. It has found the document camera. So now in order for me to connect, I just select that button, say connect, next. And it'll just take a few seconds for it to connect. Once it's located and connects to the document camera, there we go. It says that it'll take up to 60 seconds for it to connect. All right, so this is the live image that you have right now. So you can see that I am actually moving the document camera around. I can swivel the neck around. So here we go. So let's go ahead and go over the software itself. So starting from the far bottom left, this is going to be your freeze button. So if I was to just click on that, it freezes the image. So why would I need to or want to do the freeze image? Well, as an example, we're looking at a worksheet right now, but if it was a textbook, I could turn the page. I could go ahead and work on this worksheet and then hit the unfreeze button, and I'm immediately ready to go to the next assignment or the next page. So that makes it really nice. One of the other things that you can actually do is if you did the freeze button, you can still take your annotation tool, select your color that you want to use for your annotation, select the thickness of the width, and we're ready to go. So as an example, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items. I could check off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items. So again, the image is frozen, so I can move the worksheet around and it's not going to get out of place or anything like that. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the clear. So I could clear all. So I wiped everything out, we can start all over. So that was the freeze, and that was using the annotation button. The annotation also gives you a highlighter if you'd like as well. So next to that is going to be a screenshot or screen capture page. So if I select this, it actually captures the entire page or an image. I'll show you where you can find your images a little bit later in this session. Next to that, you're going to have a record, so you record video. So if I was to click on this button, it will record a video. It says record, and then in the upper right-hand corner, it gives you a timer. It says that we are recording 5 seconds right now, and then just go ahead and stop. Just one thing to let you know, the videos that you record, they cannot be imported back into this software, but they could be played on your desktop, and you can actually upload those to your teacher website or to a Dropbox or something like that. Okay, and then the next thing we have is the scissor tool. That's actually a region capture. So you notice that you can resize the region, and then I hit the capture and it captures that region. Next to that is going to be just an autofocus button. So select that, it will autofocus. You do have an option of doing a manual focus as well, but I suggest that you leave it on autofocus. The autofocus does work really well. Going over to the very, very far right, that is a rotate button. You might say, well, why do I really need to rotate this or an image? How about just imagine this, if for some reason, let me unfreeze. If you do not have enough room on your desktop and you need to rotate an image because you have to lay it horizontally, then you could go ahead and use a rotate and just rotate around on the image just so it fits on the screen properly. Okay. Hopefully we're doing pretty good. I haven't lost anybody yet. The next is probably going to be about the most important tool, I feel, that's going to be that, and that is going to be the split screen mode. The split screen mode actually allows you to connect up to 3 different still images. So those would be JPEG images, plus your 1 live image. And let me make sure that it's still showing. Good. I keep looking over here because I have it up on a big screen behind me. So this is going to be your split screen. Select split screen. And then what you want to do is on your bottom or lower right-hand side, it says Add File. Select the plus button or plus key. This goes to your default area where you saved all those images that you captured within the AverTouch software. Take a note here, it is under Documents, AverTouch, which is the name of the software, Media Library, and Image, because this is the image and not the video. So here's one of the images that we captured. So I open that up. I want to bring something else in. So here's where it's very, very powerful, is whether you captured an image or you had a digital image already of a diagram or a schematic of some sort. You could bring that in. And if we're working with cursive writing, do we still do that? You could bring that in as well for examples. So you notice on the bottom left lower area, I have 3 images. Now, if I want to bring those images in, I just have to select it and get the green check mark. I'm going to bring all three in. Go to your far right, select that check mark, and now I have my images. Like I said, we have one live image here, and then I have the three images that I brought in, digital images. Now, these images could either be something that you have saved from the internet or an image that you captured. Now, I can shuffle them around. So what makes this really great is, as an example, how about I want to do some sort of annotation over top of this? Well, go to my bottom left, hit the X over here. It gives me my annotation tools, also the freeze button, zoom in and zoom out and things like that. So if I want to annotate, click my annotate, select the color that I want to use, select the width or the thickness. Okay. And now I can actually do a comparison. My homework right here is the same as my homework image over on this side. Maybe I want to work on the schematic or diagram and we want to trace where we're going to go. So maybe I want to use a highlighter tool on that one. So I can adjust my opacity level here and the thickness. So let's go ahead and select yellow. So now I can begin to trace the gate command. Here, we'll connect to something and then go over to the MOSFET PC channel. So you could begin to see how this might be beneficial. Remember, this can all be recorded too. All you have to do is select the record button that's right down here and it'll record everything. However, if you're using anything like a Zoom, you may be using Zoom to record the entire lesson that you're putting together for your students already anyhow. So if that's the case, you don't need to use the Zoom that's within this software because you are already recording everything, such as we are. So this is one thing, if you need to come back and refer back to this presentation, we will have this recorded and uploaded. Now, I can either use the eraser and erase one thing at a time, or I can hit clear and it'll erase everything. So just be sure that if you are still on the annotation, that you get out of the annotation mode by clicking on that pen again, and now we're out of the annotation mode and we're in the selection tool. Some of these other things that we have on the far right, again, the magnifying glass, if you click that, it allows you to zoom in and then pan and scan around on the live image. It will not do it on the JPEG images, it would just do it on the live image. So the live image, again, is in the upper left-hand corner for you. If I was to zoom in, you can see that I'm zooming in. Now, what if I want to zoom way, 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 way in? Remember, I mentioned that we have the 13 megapixel. You see how clear that image is still, and I'm just really, really zooming in. It's a really clear image. Now, what if I had to go to the left or the right? Well, that's where you just use your left or right arrows, and now you can pan and scan and move around on that document or that worksheet. And then we'll go ahead and bring ourselves back out. What if I wanted to get rid of the toolbars down at the very bottom? Well, over to your very bottom far right, just click on that and it'll clear out the panel, the toolbar. Want to bring it back? Click on that again. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and just back out of there. So another thing that I need to show you, let's see, is where all those images are saved. So let me do this real quick. Reconnecting to the document camera, and you see the document camera. Remember we had zoomed in all that way? We're still zoomed in. So if I need to zoom back out, you have to make sure that you keep clicking to zoom out. But I really just wanted you to see how sharp, how clear that image is when you're zooming in. Okay, so back to showing you where all your images are saved that you have captured. In the upper right-hand corner, there's going to be a cogwheel. It says camera setting. Select that. See where it says camera, the usage of your bit rate, low, medium, high. Oh, excuse me, that was on the advanced mode. So under the camera, it tells you the document camera that's connected currently. And then you can adjust different settings on here. Your resolution, okay? It is at 4K, so we do have the 3840 by 2160 or the standard 1920 by 1080. High quality, I typically leave the camera mode on high quality. And there's some other things in here that you can adjust as well. The image frequency if you want to. Display, this is just those shortcut icons that we see down at the bottom. There's a clock, a display timer that we can have. Your record. Now this is where we're going to select where these images and videos are going to be saved. So for the video path, right here, first you have your format, AVI and MP4. Leave it on MP4. If you do use this software to do your video recording, AVI is going to be a rather large file to save. So MP4 will be the best option for you. And then record file path. As I mentioned earlier, the default file path is going to be under Documents, AverTouch, which is the name of the software, and then your media, library, and then whether it's an image or video. So you'll go ahead and select from here. It's going to open up where you want to save the files. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at the default. And then again, you have your quality, low, medium, and high. Leave it on medium. There's not too much of a difference between the medium and high, other than taking up more space. And then again, for your image file, same thing. It's under your documents, your AverTouch, name of the software, media library, and this time image for your still images. JPEG images are going to be the best for you to save. You have an option of PNG or JPEG. Now, you can drag and drop all the images you want directly into that media library file if you want, so you can access it right away. The advanced is just going to be the usage of the bit rate, using up your network. Keep it at medium for the most part. Low, you might get some jitter, and high may just take up too much bandwidth, especially right now since a lot of people are home and using the internet. It's just slowing things down. All right, so any questions? Remember, this is the AverTouch software, and it is a free download. So you can always go to our website, and I'll be giving you the links to our website shortly. So I'm going to move out of here again. I'm going to show you, let me show you one other thing real quick. So we're connected right now, access point, AP. Remember, I mentioned that you do have a USB cable. So you can just take a USB cable, plug it into the document camera, and go right into your desktop or laptop. Now, most all of our document cameras will have a USB connection. So we do have another software called Sphere 2, which probably many of you are familiar with. So you can use Sphere 2 with the document camera as well, and you can use that within Zoom or the Microsoft Teams or your Google Hangout Meets. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop share on this. And let's go back to the presentation. As we mentioned earlier, this is just a little bit about showing you how to use our document camera and software for distance learning. So you can always go to our website, the www.averusa.com/education/SLED. And on that particular site, in that location, you're going to find some instructional videos on the document cameras and video conferencing. You'll find some how-to helpful guides and things like that, PDF file. Also some overviews on some of our other document cameras and VC cameras. VC would be for our video conferencing cameras. And then some special offers for you folks as well. So in closing, I would ask that you please visit our AverUSA.com education site. You're going to find a lot of information there as well. And of course, this is without being said, go and connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. As I mentioned at the very beginning, We will be doing some Facebook Live presentations and just, 5, 10, 15-minute videos or live showing you how to connect again to Zoom and some of these other conferencing software, and also some helpful tips on how to use Sphere 2 and the AverTouch software. So we'll be sending out notifications again on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So before we close this down, do we have any other questions or anything? What I'm trying to do is gauge to see how many of you really have the document camera at home, and if there's anything else that we can do to help you, because we're here to do what we can for you folks, especially right now, since a lot of you are either trying to figure out a way to use some of these tools to teach from home, or you're currently still in the classroom, but you'll be teaching from home soon. I just want to let you know that, especially using the Sphere 2 software, we haven't covered that during this session, but we probably will in the next one. You can use the Sphere 2. Go to our AverUSA.com education site, look for Sphere 2. You can download that for free. Sphere 2 is going to be a fantastic tool. It's going to allow you to use that software for annotations, split screens, side-by-side mode. It's going to recognize your webcam on your laptop. You're still going to be able to use that software for distance teaching, distance learning. So you don't have to necessarily have one of our document cameras to use that. If you do have a document camera and the webcam, it makes it that much better, because that particular software will allow you to do up to 6 different split screens, and you can have 2 live images. That would be your webcam and a document camera, and then up to 4 still images. All right, thank you, folks. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Have a great day.